Close.
Close. Go ahead. Rise.
Good evening and welcome to the planning board meeting for the town of Dudley on Wednesday, April 24th, 2019. Present this evening we have Dan Edmiston, clerk of the board. We have Gregory Benoit, member. We have Carol Savard, our clerk. And we have Don Johnson, our town planner, and myself, Guy Horn, chairman. First item on our agenda, approval of meeting minutes from April 10th, 2019. Somebody like to make a motion for the meeting minutes from April 10th, 2019?
I had the pleasure to read the minutes and I found them to be in order, so I make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes from our meeting on Wednesday, April 10th.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Sign 2 copies. Next item on our agenda, discussion status report on finishing construction of and acceptance of uncompleted and unaccepted subdivision streets, including Pierpont Estates, Rocky Hill Estates, Piasta Road, Country View Estates, Eisenhower Drive, Tobin Farm Estates. Don, can you give us an update on those?
Well, I don't know if we're going to make Tobin Farm and Eisenhower are going to make it because we haven't heard from them yet.
Okay. So the two that
I know
were
they are working on it.
the two that were actively working may not make the town
They
meeting.
didn't make the town meeting yet. I know they're both working on it, so
Okay.
next time around, I guess.
Have you had any more interaction with item C, which is the final inspection associated with site plans, including AMP Solar?
I think that was before the last meeting, wasn't it? I think we brought it up.
Right, you said that they still needed to do a lot of
I think they
landscaping.
need a lot of landscaping and a lot of cleanup work.
Okay. All right,
Most of the equipment's up, but I think that they still need some cleanup and landscaping to finish it up.
okay. So, item,
Tony Sakara said he'd be in tonight, but to turn the plan, I guess, but he's not here, so.
Oh, he's not at the other meeting.
what was he, do you know what he was coming in for?
Just to turn it in, basically. I thought he said, I can do that in the office anyway. What did he
So,
need?
the plan for that
Yeah,
common drive?
the modification
common driveway?
plan, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. All right, so we're gonna have to wait a couple of minutes because we got our public hearing scheduled at 7:15 and it's only 7:11.
Can we get down to item E?
Item-
Touch them around there?
Item E, yes. Let's take it out of order, then we'll go to item E, discussion on status of
D.
economic development, planning including progress on the double EA planning assistant grant with Webster for economic development, commercial corridor planning, relationship to Phase 2 Economic Development Strategic Plan, DLTA funding, progress on the MVP planning assistance grant, progress on agricultural planning, and complete streets workshop, May 15th.
The long and short of it is the first two items. We haven't really done anything. I haven't really had any meetings on that. But
Okay,
I understand that the Agricultural Commission is trying to get a meeting either next week or the week after.
okay.
Get organized and get going.
A meeting with
It's
us
gonna-
or just amongst
No,
themselves?
No, just amongst themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were they granted like ad hoc committee status from the Board of Selectmen and they can just go ahead and make recommendations on
I
agriculture?
think they probably got appointed by the Board of Selectmen
Okay,
as members.
that's already been
What-
taken care
I
of.
think so.
Okay. And then the complete street workshop, that's coming up on May 15th?
It's gonna be quite a day. I have to be in Miller's Falls. It's next town over. I have to be in Greenfield by 8 a.m. So
Okay, so that's a haul.
don't expect any more of that day from me. I can tell you from that one.
So you got a long journey on you.
Well, I got a niece who lives in Miller's Falls, so
Okay,
I got a place to stop at least anyway.
all right. And is that workshop put out by Central Mass Regional Planning?
It's not put up by CMRPC. It's put up by the state.
Okay.
And that's more to do with that specific project.
Okay.
administering a specific project. program, I should say, I guess.
Do you have anything else on your planner's plate for this evening?
Mostly doing the zoning articles, past couple of weeks,
Yeah,
involved in that. It's just quite a bit to do. It doesn't look like it sometimes, but it really is.
I know.
And other than that, I don't think you've ever heard of the MS4. It stands, it's EPA acronyms for not metropolitan, was it?
Municipal
Municipal
stormwater,
storm sewer separate system.
We talked
there's
about that
four
last time.
S's, so that's
Yeah.
the
That's
MS4.
Okay.
Basically what it is to improve water quality from runoff. We're gonna be doing that over the next year or so, and we'll sort of do the transition when Greg retires and thing from there. They'll be hiring a new town administrator, obviously, and a new DPW director too, when that gets organized.
Okay, because that's kind of mandated by the state, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, EPA.
it's mandated by EPA, actually, yeah.
Okay, so the federal government.
Yeah. So I'll be working on the transition on that one.
Okay.
Worked with them before, so know what it's all about.
All right. We're at 7:15, so we can start the public hearing. This is
Tab E.
tab E in your book. Okay. Dudley Planning Board, public hearing notice. Notice is hereby given that pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 5, the Dudley Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, April 24th, 2019, at 7:15 in the Dudley Municipal Complex, Room 321A, DMC Veterans Memorial Hall. Obviously, we're in a different room tonight because of the Board of Selectmen's meeting. 71 West Main Street, Dudley, Mass. To review and receive public input on the proposed articles to amend the zoning bylaw of the town of Dudley, Massachusetts, and/or zoning map of Dudley, Massachusetts, which are expected to be on the warrant for the May 20th, 2019 annual town meeting. All interested parties may appear and be heard. The three articles are summarized as follows. Number 1, to amend the Dudley zoning map for Dudley, Massachusetts by rezoning from Business 15 to Res 10 the properties along the northerly and westerly sidelines of Marshall Terrace, described as Assessors Map number 119, lots 65, 64, 63, 54, 53, and 52. That's the first article. A copy of the full text of the amendment, a portion of the Assessors Map depicting the proposed rezoning, and the zoning map are available for inspection in the Planning Board office or the Town Clerk's office, which are located in the Dudley Municipal Complex, 71 West Main Street, Dudley, Mass. 01571, during regular working hours. The second one, to amend the zoning bylaws of the town of Dudley by enacting housekeeping measures, such as corrections of spellings and punctuation errors, corrections of typographical errors, replacement of incorrect wording with correct wording, inserting missing information and wording, updating wording, and correcting other Scribner's errors, etc. in the following sections. Number 1, Section 1.05.00, separability. Section number 2, Section 2.0100, zoning districts. Number 3, Section 2.0101, establishment of districts. Number 4, Section 2.0102, district delineation. Number 5, Section 2.03.02, use by district chart. Number 6, Section 3.01.02, use regulation. Number 7, Section 3.05.06, application procedure. Number 8, Section 3.05.07, decision of the planning board. Number 9, Section 3.10.03, overlay district. Number 10, Section 3.12.04, general requirements for all large-scale solar power solar power generation installations. Number 11, Section 3.15.05, additional requirements/conditions. Number 12, Section 5.01.02, application procedures. Number 13, Section 5.03.00, Planning Board Associate Member and Planning Board acting as the special permit granting authority. And number 14, Section 5.04.09, enforcement of an approved site plan. A copy of the full text in the, A copy of the full text of the amendment is available for inspection in the Planning Board office or the Town Clerk's office, which are located in the Dudley Municipal Complex, 71 West Main Street, Dudley, Mass. 01571, during regular working hours. The last item is to amend the zoning bylaw of the Town of Dudley by adding provisions for accessory use apartments and amending the definition of two-family/duplex home as follows. Amendment Section 2.03.02, use by district chart, activity or use, accessory uses, by inserting a new accessory use entitled accessory use apartment as an accessory use to a single-family dwelling permitted as a matter of right in all zoning districts, subject to applicable footnotes.
Want me to take over, Mr. Chairman?
Would you mind?
Number 2, amend section 2.03.03 footnotes by adding a new footnote number 17 relative to accessory use apartments as applied to lawfully pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwellings in the Industrial 43, Industrial 130, Light Industry 43, and Light Industry 87 districts, adding a new footnote number 18 relative to the exterior appearance and minimum and maximum allowed size of an accessory use apartment, and adding a new footnote number 19 relative to occupancy and ownership of the principal dwelling unit and the accessory use apartment. Number 3, amend section 6, definitions 6.01.00 purpose and 6.01.01 definitions listing by adding a definition of the term accessory use apartment and adding an additional phrase to the existing definition of the term two-family duplex home. A copy of the full text of the amendment is available for inspection in the Planning Board office or the Town Clerk's office, which are located in the Dudley Municipal Complex, 71 West Main Street, Dudley, Mass. 01571, during regular working hours. The complete text of these 3 articles and associated maps and the zoning map, Town of Dudley, and the zoning bylaws of the Town of Dudley may be viewed in the Planning Board office or the Town Clerk's office, which are located in the Dudley Municipal Complex, 71 West Main Street, Dudley, Massachusetts, during regular working hours. The Planning Board will receive public input at the public hearing. Any person interested or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. If you wish to comment but are unable to attend, please submit written comments to the Planning Board office before 4:30 p.m. on April 24th, 2019. Guy E. Horn, Jr., Chairman, Dudley Planning Board.
Okay, thank you very much for finishing up.
No problem.
Also, like to mention that this notice ran 2 consecutive weeks. It ran on April 10th and on April 17th, 2019 in the Telegram. Okay, it was in the Telegram. All right. So, the first item that we had, zoning map amendment. See if the town will vote to amend the Town of Dudley's official zoning map as follows. Rezone from Business 15 to Residential 10 properties along the northerly and westerly sidelines of Marshall Terrace described as Assessor's Map number 119, lots 65, 64, 63, 54, 53, and 52, or take any other action relative hereto. We have a little picture of that map. 65. Okay. Do we have anybody that wants to speak on this?
Well, I'm just hoping.
If you come
Should
up.
I sit here?
Yep,
Okay.
sign in, please.
Yes, I found out that somehow the residential status of that side of Marshall Terrace got changed. And I'm asking that it be brought back to residential, not business. I don't know if you know Marshall Terrace, but it's extremely quiet little street. And so four homes, but more lots than that, but 4 are under that business zoning by some, I don't know how that ever happened, but it did, and
All right. So you're advocating for it?
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And the other, I can tell you, I just talked this very day with Emily Haywood. I forgot the lady's name who lives beside her, and the Toomeys. All 4 of us are owners that are involved, and we're all for
Okay.
changing it back to residential.
Okay. All right, so it would be going to residential 10, which is 10,000 square foot minimum lot size with 100-foot frontage.
Which, exactly, which is what we always thought it was. You know, we didn't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Anything else to add?
Not really, except it makes all the sense in the world that it would be residential and not business. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
And how does it work now? How do I know if and when something might?
So, I don't know if it's the board's pleasure to vote on this tonight. We would, after we close the public hearing, we could vote on these articles that we're having the public hearing on this evening, or we could wait till we go to the meeting before the town meeting and vote on them then. But nothing would happen until the town meeting votes, and if it's a positive vote at the town meeting, it takes a 2/3 majority vote for this to pass, because it's an article relating to zoning. So if 2/3 of the majority that are at the town meeting agree with this change and they pass the change, then it would be acted on favorably by town meeting. Then it goes to the Attorney General's office. And I can't see that she would have any.
Up to 90 days, but I don't see any problem.
Yeah, I don't think she would have a problem with this. And then once she sends back her determination, then the change would take effect.
Does that take a long time for the Attorney General to
It
respond?
can take up to 90 days, I believe she has to.
Taking up to 90 days, but
I see. Oh, she has 90 days.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm,
So
I see.
a lot of towns have the town meetings in the spring, so she could be getting inundated with
Mhm.
articles, and she has to review them all, or her department has to review them all, and then they send us back their opinion or their feedback. You know, if there was something that we were doing that wasn't legal, they would say, no, you can't do it because of X, Y, Z, but, I mean, I think this is pretty straightforward and it's pretty simple.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer to me, so
Yeah.
I like to vote on it tonight if possible, is to make sure that, our meeting in May is easier in case we don't get to the other items.
Okay, that's fine, so we'll vote on it this evening, and then
Should I wait till you vote, or?
it's up to you.
if you want to hit the road, I can call you.
Pardon?
If you want to hit the road, I can certainly call you.
You could call me?
Sure.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yes,
let you know.
thank you.
You have a long way to drive, and
I do.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm scared of the dark.
It's not dark yet.
it's not dark yet, you're
I
right.
know, but it will be. That's
You
the-
want to
yeah,
get home
Right.
before?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, thank you for coming.
Well, thank you very
Want to wait
much.
till tomorrow morning, or you want me to call you tonight?
Tomorrow morning,
Okay.
please.
Yeah.
Please.
Submit up to 10. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the next one. This is the housekeeping article. So in our book, we have a draft numbered 4A. Article to see if the town will vote to amend the zoning bylaw by enacting housekeeping measures such as a correction of spelling and punctuation errors, correction of typographical errors, replacement of incorrect wording with correct wording, inserting missing information, and wording, updating wording, and correcting other Scrivener's errors, etc. as follows. Unless otherwise described, language within the items noted will be in strike-through is proposed to be deleted, and language shown in bold and italicized is proposed to be added. So in the first item, section 1.05.00, separability, delete the word separability and replace it with the word severability.
Severability. I don't think there's any such word as
Can we just,
For the attorney is in the house, is there any such word as separability?
there's a word, you can use any word you want, it doesn't mean it actually exists.
Okay.
Instead of having you read this whole thing, can we just offer it in?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anybody here that's gonna oppose it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we've been over these in numerous meetings, and obviously this is not our first draft. Don's been working hard on these. I think we've all had a chance to review, and I think that they're all
Okay?
housekeeping and pretty much obvious changes that should be made.
Incomplete items, you know, things that we are listed in other parts of the bylaw that aren't listed in the part they
Yep.
should be, and, you know,
Just to
particularly
try
like.
and save your voice,
Yeah.
just it's
No
gonna be
problem.
long.
So
There's only
that's,
one little thing, I was going through it and I realized that on the original draft, I had to put in reference to section 2.03.03 on page 2. Footnotes are actually a different section for the table, I didn't realize that at the time, but I corrected that in the selectman's office, so that should be all set for the warrant.
yeah, as long as what's printed for town meeting is correct,
Yeah,
we're good. I mean, if there's something incorrect, let us know and we can try to change it on the
yeah.
floor.
Well, I haven't found it yet,
Okay,
and I know I sent well, we'll get to that later.
okay. So that takes care of the housekeeping items, which is that 4 pages. And now we're gonna look at what's called draft number 6, article to see if the town will vote to amend the zoning bylaws by adding provisions for accessory use apartments and amending the definition of two-family/duplex home as follows. And what we have here in our book is still, one thing I noticed was on number 18,
I know I turned into the selectman's office for that change, so,
you sent it in with the 400.
yeah,
Yeah, so we have one
wrong.
change on
wrong
this,
draft.
that
I'm gonna have to, what I'm gonna do is put the final articles that are going to town meeting, I'm gonna do that tomorrow, get it all straightened out and get them in one folder and get the drafts in another folder.
Okay, so that would just basically say that the minimum square footage for the accessory use apartment is 400 square feet rather than 750, and not more than 900 square feet. And all of these articles have been reviewed by town council already, at least once or twice. So
Quite a bit,
they're kind of going with her blessing too.
yeah.
And, yeah, so I think that's it for the last item there. So if anybody else has anything if there's anybody else from the public that would like to speak on these articles, they can come forward now.
Not me.
Not you? Okay.
I move to close the public hearing.
Okay, so we have a motion to close the public hearing.
I wanted to ask about the kennels. Do we want to have those on this
That's,
person?
2 weeks.
That's gonna be in 2 weeks.
We
Really?
weren't sure what was gonna happen because the person who was looking to get that done was going to the zoning board of appeals. They didn't hold it, they continued it next month, so.
Okay.
So that one, along with the solar farm, the citizens petition
Yep.
on the solars will be on the next public hearing.
Essentially, what we did with the kennel situation is that we didn't match the state regulations.
So that's what the lady was asking us to do,
Yeah.
more or less.
Yeah, we know.
Okay,
All right, perfect.
all right, so at 7:33, we'll close the public hearing for those 3 warrant articles. And do we want to vote them as a block or vote them?
I would almost recommend voting on number 1 and leaving number 2 and 3 for a later meeting, since we're looking for the draft version. There's a couple of changes that have to be made.
Okay,
Is that feasible, or?
okay.
Well, they have been made. They were made. I put that, I don't know how that got there, how that 750 got there. 'cause
Well, I mean,
put that in the selectmen's
I was thinking that instead of reading the whole things, we would just reference the draft and the
Okay.
text that was in
Okay.
there. And since the drafts that we have really,
Sure.
there's a couple parts missing, I would just recommend is we wait till next meeting, we have the right draft number, we can reference that and then have it approved or voted on.
That sounds fine to me.
Okay.
Because we could vote that at the next meeting too, we don't have to
Yep.
wait till the town meeting.
Exactly,
Vote
yep.
them all at the same meeting,
Okay,
sure.
yeah.
So I'd like to make a motion to amend the Town of Dudley official zoning map as follows: to rezone from business 15 to residential 10, the properties along the northerly and westerly sidelines of Marshall Terrace described as Assessor's Map 119, lots 65, 64, 63, 54, 53, and 52.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. So the planning board will recommend that article for adoption at town meeting. And we'll hit the other two on the next agenda. All right?
The two are there.
Yeah.
Right,
The
just,
hearing notice and the articles are there, so you know what's coming up at the next meeting.
Yeah, just so that if we have
Yeah.
a draft that has a number that's correct, then we can reference them and we don't have to make any adjustments to it.
I don't think you'll have to. I think I got it this time.
Okay.
But,
And then, so the public hearing's closed, we voted on that, we'll vote on the other two articles at the next meeting. And so we all know that we just went over, we'll have at the next meeting, we'll have the solar farm, or the solar bylaw, and the public, what is that, public citizens petition, and the kennel at the next public hearing at the next, that's in, what was that?
May 8th.
May 10th?
May 8th.
May 8th.
the second one, right?
Okay. So on May 8th, we'll have those two, and we'll vote on the other two articles, so we'll have four articles to vote on for that meeting. And did we hit everything else on the agenda?
I believe we did.
I guess we did.
We have one
Oh.
comments from the audience?
Am I in?
Sure, comments from the audience. We'll take you, Tony.
Okay, Tony's here.
Yep.
And I'm just like to follow up on that lot, those lots that were trying to split from lot 1.
Yep.
And I got some information from the engineer.
Okay.
And I
bring it up.
just put it over to you.
Thank you, sir.
The board asked us for to check with the fire department and the
Yes.
police department.
Yep.
Okay, so the police department, they didn't have much to say. The fire department, they asked us for 16-foot pavement up to here, after passing
The culvert?
The culvert,
Yep.
and then we'll go change it into
20 foot?
20-footer
Yep.
with a turnaround
Okay.
at the end.
Like a hammerhead turnaround?
Yeah,
So that's in lieu of a cul-de-sac?
right,
Okay.
yeah.
So you need to change your cross-section up here, which still states
Right.
12 feet and 15
Yeah.
feet? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So that'll get updated to the 16 and the 20 foot?
Mhm.
Okay.
And they didn't have time to give me the, what do you call it, my law, with the check with my engineer.
Okay.
So we may come back in the next meeting with finalized.
Finalized plans?
He also gave me this, because they couldn't make the meeting, right?
You still have to hold a hearing on this, though, you know. You know you have to hold a hearing on this, right? I think, yeah. I need to put that on you, but I think it has to be a hearing, because you're changing the layout, essentially. Whenever you change the layout or add a new layout, whenever you add something, you know, new like that to a plan, unless you, if that was an existing street and you were changing lot lines, like you've done any number of times, you wouldn't have to go for a public hearing, certainly, but it's a new, it's a whole new point of access, so.
Even though it's a paper street?
It is and it isn't.
Okay.
The way it's constructed is not the way that the board will ultimately approve it, I don't think.
My engineer told me that we don't need a public hearing, but
Okay.
Well, you said we did a public hearing for Tobin Farms when we rechanged those 3 lots into 2 lots.
You're changing the right-of-way in that one, too. You're
Right,
changing a
'cause that
right-of-way, you're
was-
changing an access point. or
Because that was a
whatever.
cul-de-sac, and that became pretty much what this is gonna be. It's gonna be a common
Yes.
driveway.
Right, right.
So I think if we did it in the past, we should follow through with the public hearing, just to make it common.
Consistency is always good.
Right. So, yeah, well, so.
It's
we'll-
always better to have had, say, a hearing and then just say whoops later.
Yeah, I mean, if nobody comes to the hearing and objects to it, then it's not like we.
He's entitled to subdivide his land, it's just a matter of how
Right,
the board approves it.
right.
What form.
Okay, so Tony, we'll plan on, it'll probably be after the town meeting. We'll set up a public hearing, but you're gonna get these plans updated with the right cross-section views and stuff
Yeah.
to match what the fire department's asked for and all the details.
You'll have to file with the Conservation Commission too, won't you?
Yeah, we have to file with conservation.
So if you can do that, and then when those are complete, get back to us, and then we'll set up the public hearing to be right after that.
Okay.
I think we're looking at June, I'd say. Most likely.
So, yeah, so it'll be sometime in June.
Don, would you be notified when this comes before the Conservation Commission?
I have direct connection to the Conservation Commission.
Gee, I wonder who.
I wouldn't mind attending that meeting, so just, if I could just get a heads up email-wise or something like that.
You know Carol's the
Whoever
clerk
comes.
for the Conservation.
I just figured that one out, yes. Haven't been to one of your meetings yet, so this gives me an opportunity.
They're quick.
So why don't we give you these back, Tony, seeing how they gotta be updated,
Right.
and then, so were you okay with naming that street Old Mason Road?
Oh, I know.
Okay.
It's what it is, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you keep the name the way it is, that's good, and I don't think you'll have a problem with the town.
I don't think they had a problem with that, because it had the word old in front of it. It was just Mason Road or Mason Street, obviously.
Well, we have a Mason Road and we have a Mason Road extension already, so, I mean, it should have Old Mason Road.
It
if
says
you-
old, yeah.
Yeah.
They seem okay with that old.
Yeah, I think as long as you keep the Old Mason Road the way it is.
I believe that's what we're trying to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I think that'll get you what you need, and I think it'll, for
Second my name.
emergency services, I think we'll like it a lot better, so they know where it is versus off of Noble Drive or whatever, what's the main street there, Noble?
Noble Street.
Noble Street,
Yeah.
yeah, so, okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.
you.
Tony.
Thank you.
Any comments from the planning board this evening?
Just that I'm looking forward to going to the select board's meeting and see if I can listen to the rest of the interviews, so if we can keep the rest of the meeting short,
Okay.
I'd appreciate it.
I only have one more to mention. We remember the Causeway Road situation?
Right,
We're to rename it. We agreed to postpone that till after town meeting, so
okay. So that can
we
be,
can have it next, we could have it next week if you want to get it over with, but if you don't, after town meeting, whatever.
maybe we can do it the same night we do the Old Mason Road.
That's true.
All the roads in one shot, right?
Shot, yeah. Okay. Motion to adjourn?
I can make a motion to adjourn.
My second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Good night, everybody.